So yeah, hi.
Hello.
So we're here. We're
At Broad Street
at Broad Street.
and Pearl Street,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yes, yes.
In New York City,
New York City.
where it all started.
It all started here. Yeah?
Right here.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is David, and I'm Shams. So hope you guys enjoy the video. We're gonna show you the old New York,
And
where
then
it
we'll move.
started, where with the Dutch have their first settlements, right?
That's
David?
right. The
Yeah.
Indians first, don't forget.
Oh, okay,
The
Indian first.
Native Americans were here first.
Okay. Okay.
They didn't live down here.
All right.
Yeah. But
Okay.
they came here
Okay.
and they ate oysters. And they, yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they dropped the oyster shells right here.
Yes. So
and it
we're
was
gonna.
so shiny
Yeah. Yeah.
that the oysters looked like pearls, the
Mhm.
oyster shells, and they called it Pearl Street.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that story.
Well, that's why. That's
Really?
why. Pearl
Okay.
Street was covered with oyster shells
Okay.
because the Native Americans ate a lot of oysters. That's what they did.
Okay. Okay.
Right? The entire bay was covered in oysters.
Okay. Okay.
And now the bay is being restored with oysters as well. But in
All
fact, the oysters were just there to go pick up and eat,
Okay.
right?
Mhm, mhm.
And they did.
Okay. Okay.
And- yes. And they created Pearl Street.
Okay.
So here, right here at Pearl and
Mhm.
Broad,
Mhm.
was where there was originally a canal. When they first landed, there was no canal, but shortly they built a canal
Mhm.
to give it kind of a safe harbor
Okay.
for
Mhm.
the small ships that they had. They had very small ships.
Okay.
And the canal stretched right up Broad Street
Mhm.
to some point up there.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So
And
we
can focus-
started
Yeah,
right.
we started. This is good.
Right? All right. Okay. Let's go to the first. We're gonna see the map.
Okay, let's go see the map.
So, yeah. Yes. So this is the crossroad. Right now it is the crossroad, but this was the water, right?
This was the water. I believe the water was further this way.
Okay. Okay. So this what is
This
this
is-
place called? Yes, Pearl Street.
This is Pearl Street
Okay.
at Broad Street.
Okay. Yes.
Again, the canal would have stretched up here,
Mm-hmm.
and Pearl Street continues on around,
Okay.
right here, and goes over to the Battery
Okay.
over here, which we can show that in a second.
Yeah. 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 So the water was here,
Yes.
but these buildings came up later, right?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Much later.
Yeah. This is called Francis Tavern.
This is Francis Tavern.
Yes. This is one of the old.
It is one
Yes.
of the oldest taverns in the city.
Okay. It was called Queen's Head, I think.
Queen's Head Tavern. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Why was it called Queen's?
Because they chopped the queen's head off and they had the head inside in a basket.
Yeah,
That's not true.
Yes. Yes.
That's not true.
Yes.
We will find out why
right,
it
all
was
right.
called Queen's Head Tavern. We will.
Okay. Okay.
But it was restored around, I think, 1907, 1909.
Okay.
The building was discovered to be intact, buried inside of a later building.
Mm-hmm.
They removed at least one floor from the building, maybe two,
Mhm.
to restore it to somewhat of its original
Yeah.
construction.
Okay. Okay.
The,
Is
this
it? Do you think it is in its original construction?
close as they can make it. Yes.
Okay. So I think we can cross the street now.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So we are actually, basically, we are crossing the crossing the water.
We think we are on the waterfront of
Okay.
the original Manhattan,
Okay.
or Mannahatta. as-
Manhattan.
Mannahatta, they call it.
They call it Manhattan.
Mannahatta.
Is it from the
It's the-
Indian?
Yes, it's the Native Americans called it
Okay.
Mannahatta, we think.
Okay. Okay.
We
okay.
don't know that for
Okay.
sure.
So in the map, we can see we are right here.
We can see, yes.
So this is the Pearl Street.
Pearl Street, which continued around to the Battery here,
Oh, this is the Battery, right?
right?
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
And the water would have been here.
Okay. The water has been here. So this,
Actually,
this was
the water,
landfill,
the water
right?
here, the water ran up Greenwich, right here.
To the Greenwich, right?
Right. So
And
here,
it was covered with Pearl Street.
right, Pearl Street is running around here.
Mm-hmm,
So all of this is landfill.
okay. 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 Right now we are in the Pearl Street. Let's walk.
Yes, we're in the Pearl Street.
So yeah. So there was something here before, right?
Yes.
What? What do you think?
Big box of pearls.
Okay, okay.
No,
Okay.
we don't know yet.
We don't know it.
We
right?
don't know what was there, but
it
something
should
was
be
in
like,
fact
you know,
there.
townhouses?
They're small houses. They would be very small houses.
Mhm.
They were made of wood.
Okay.
They were quickly constructed at first. Most of the original houses were built over by the fort, which we're walking in the opposite direction of the fort. But that's okay.
Okay, okay. But they didn't build back there first, right? They built it.
They did. In fact, there was only a few of them when they first arrived, and most of them were sent up the river to what was then called Beaverwick, now Albany.
Okay, okay.
There were only a few people here on Manhattan when the Dutch first landed here.
Okay.
They didn't stay here.
Okay.
Later, as more ships arrived, more and more people lived here, and after some run-ins with the Native Americans, everybody came here
Oh, okay. Okay.
because they
Okay.
were not able to live anywhere else for a little while.
All right. All right. So they have some memorial thing here, I think, like
No.
archaeology of the
Oh, maybe they do. Look at this. This
Steady
is
House
amazing.
block, right?
Look at this. Oh, this is where the State House was, the Stadthaus. Stadthaus. This is, in fact, now we can see where it was.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So like State House.
Was
What
the
is-
State House? Well, it tells you right here.
Yeah. The first large-scale archaeological excavation in New York City was conducted on this block in
Right.
1979 and 80. Excavation yielded
And you,
important.
can, and you can see there's the Stadthaus, right here.
Okay.
And here's the dock.
Oh, okay.
In fact, there it is,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And there is Broad Street.
That is which street?
I believe so. That's Broad Street,
Okay.
which has now been filled in this image. They've already filled in the canal.
So like, are we standing right here or something?
I think we're standing in front of the dock. Yeah, we're here because this is where the Stadthaus was here, under this building.
Okay. 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 So this was the place
In
of
fact, there's something in the floor over here that we can see.
the. Okay. So they have this. Oh, okay. Okay.
This may be the
This-
wall
this is
of
the
the Stadthaus.
This is Stat House, right?
Right.
So what does Stat House like?
State House. The Hus is house. Right?
Okay.
Stat is state. So State House. It would have been the government house.
Okay.
Right. So this is it. I forgot this was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw this years ago.
Yeah.
So this we can do a little bit more research to find out about this, but this may
So
in
this is
fact
the
be
this is the base of the house,
of
right?
the house, which was in, as you can see in the image, was right in front of the dock, which was in front of us here.
Okay. Okay.
So in fact, the dock was. This is the water, and this is the.
Okay.
And very convenient to Bangla Square.
Oh yes. Yes. So they have something written there.
Yes, Banglas are on their way. We can't read that though. I think we can get a copy of this,
Okay.
a clear copy image of this.
So it was done in King Charles II in 16.
Well, no, that's later. That's
Okay.
later. That's later because it eventually became a tavern, actually,
Okay.
right?
Oh, okay. Later on it was
later,
a tavern.
Later it was a tavern. At first it was the. No, I guess you could really say it was the city hall in a way.
Okay.
It was the government house, right? Stadthaus.
Right.
Um,
So it was just they kept it as a under this glass.
No, when they excavated, I'm not sure if this is the actual level of the structure or not, because there would have been other buildings before this tower was built.
Okay. Okay.
This is an interesting question to understand, but maybe they put it right at the level that it would have been.
Okay. Let's go on the other
Yes.
side and see. Sure. Okay. Okay.
Yes. We can get a very good image of this that
Yes.
is already produced,
Yes.
right? Because it was documented
Yeah.
and will be available online.
Okay. So we are just in front of the
We're in front of
Stadthaus?
we're in front of the port now, the original port.
original port.
The
Okay.
original port.
Okay. An 18th century wall. The
Right.
wall dates from the first was located on a property which belonged to the Phillips family. The
Okay.
Phillips man.
Oh, I see. So
Man-
that wasn't the Stadthaus wall. It was belonged to the Phillips family of Phillips Manor.
So the property remained in the family until the Revolutionary War, when it was confiscated by the new American government because of the family's loyalist sympathies. This was originally extended down to the water table, provided water for the inhabitants of the block. It is lined with arc-shaped bricks and was found only a few years away from another wall, lived with the barrel, which dates from the 17th century. Well and other brickwork structure.
Right.
So, do you think that was a well, right?
It was. It looks like it was a well for this Phipps family that built that. So
okay.
this requires much more research, but this is interesting. But the Stadhuis was here somewhere.
Okay. You are here, right here. So there are 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So there are 3 locations here, right?
Right. So the Stadhuis, it says here, the Stadhuis was built actually as a tavern.
It was a Dutch city hall. It was
Right.
built in the
Well, it was actually built as a tavern first.
Yeah.
And it was built in 1641. This director general actually is the one that caused all the trouble with the Native Americans.
Okay. Kieft
Kiev,
of the
yeah.
Dutch West India Company.
Right.
When New Amsterdam became a municipality in 1953. Oh, it
1650
became a
1653.
1653.
Right.
It became a municipality,
Right,
right?
because before it was belonged to the Dutch West India Company.
Okay. It considers functions under both Dutch and English rule until it was declared unsafe for use in 1697 and was later torn down. The city, later torn down,
Right.
declared unsafe. Okay. Government then covened the several taverns, including the adjoining
Lovelace
Tavern, until the new city hall was built at the northwest corner of the Wall and Nassau Street in 1699. Okay.
which is now Federal Hall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So that's great. So let's move towards the.
Bangla Square.
So,
This is not going to be used, so we can say whatever we want.
the thing is, like, basically the city started from here. So, and
I think
this is the oldest street
I think that the city actually, in fact, started over there.
down to the Battery, eh?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Down to the Battery.
Okay. So city started from the Battery,
That's
but
right.
it went up till here.
It
But
did.
the main settlement was started here, basically, I think.
Yes, ultimately, yes, it moved
Yes.
this way.
Yes.
And it moved right along the water, right?
Okay.
And then a little bit inland as well,
Okay.
until
okay.
you got up to Wall Street,
Okay.
where there was a wall,
Okay.
and nothing was beyond that except for some farms.
All right. So, and another thing, they say this is the oldest street in the city.
Pearl Street is the waterfront.
No, the Stone Street.
No, Stone Street is only important because the people that lived on Stone Street, particularly the women,
Okay.
wanted to not get their feet dirty
Okay.
because all the streets were mud.
Okay.
So they insisted that the street be paved,
Okay.
and they did.
So it was paved, like, do you know, like, which period it was paved?
No, we have to determine
But it
that.
would be like in 16 something.
Oh yeah, 16 something for sure.
All right.
Maybe as early as 1630 or 1640.
Okay. So this is the street.
This is the street.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was one of the main streets,
Okay.
but we really can't film here. Oh, as a tourist we can.
Yeah, okay.
It's now a party street.
It's now a party street. You can see the old buildings here. So end of the street there is the India House, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is more like a. There are a lot of restaurants in the street right now.
Yes.
But there is no sign like which one is the oldest building here. Like,
None of them are older. None of them are that old because remember there was a fire
okay.
in 1835 and destroyed almost everything. And prior to that, there was a fire
Yes.
during the Revolution, which also destroyed many of the buildings here.
Okay. In 18
35.
35, there is a fire, right?
There's a fire.
So almost everything was destroyed.
Almost everything was completely destroyed.
But at that time, those houses were made by woods, right?
They were made of wood. Like,
Okay, okay,
When they rebuilt the buildings, they built them of brick.
okay.
And most of these buildings were built in the 1840s.
Most of them, right?
Most of them.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. So you can say it from the facade, right? That these were built like later in later
This
times,
is
right?
1900.
This is 1900. And actually, we are in front of the Indian club, right? India Club, right? India House.
India House,
Okay.
which we can see it better from over here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait.
So this is one. One Hanover Square. Okay. This
Yes.
is India House.
Which is under restoration now.
Right now, right?
Yes.
So it was built as a club.
It was built as a bank.
It was built as a
Hanover
bank.
Hanover Bank.
Okay.
Later, around 1911,
Mhm.
it became a private club.
Okay. Okay. 1911, it became a private club.
Yes.
Okay. So, but it has nothing to do with India, actually,
Nothing.
right?
Nothing.
Yes. All right.
I believe that the traders who started the club did trade with India.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. I do believe that.
And it has the flag shows it's a very nice one, right?
Yes, it shows that it's a ship,
Yeah.
and we can determine all that information. And then the next time we do this, it will
Yeah.
be more professional and it will be in daylight.
Okay. And the other one is like this one is
This is Queen Elizabeth II September 11 Memorial Garden.
oh, okay. Okay. So Queen Elizabeth gifted this part
yes,
of the
yes,
part of the
yes,
yeah.
the restoration of
Part.
Hanover Square.
Okay. Okay. So it says like India House, 1 Hanover Square, architect unknown, 1953. The
1853,
handsome brownstone building facing Hanover Square, built in 1853, originally housed the Hanover Bank, making this rare surviving bank building from pre-Civil War New York. Like so many banks, it was inspired by Italian Renaissance palaces.
Yes.
Appropriately enough, since many such places had themselves been built for powerful Italian banking families. So it was for the Italian banking families, right?
No, this one was not, but the idea was that
Okay.
they resembled the houses where the Italian bankers lived.
Okay, okay. The building varies history, including serves as a New York cotton exchange. Oh, this was a cotton exchange once.
Yes, at one time.
The offices of W.R. Grace and Company since 1914. It has been home to India House, a private club funded by shipping executive James F. Perl and newspaperman
Willard Street.
William Street. The club early members, businessmen engage in foreign trade, choose the name India House to suggest the romance of exotic ports.
Yes. Interesting.
Yes, yes. So this is the garden.
Yes, this is the garden of Queen
What is-
Elizabeth.
What is the name of the garden?
The Queen Elizabeth II September 11th garden.
Okay. Okay. So we can. The Queen Elizabeth was here.
Yes.
She after the September 11th,
She opened this garden.
She opened this garden. Okay.
And collected pigeons to take back to London. It is a very popular place for people to have their lunchtime meals.
Okay. Yes. Because it's a very busy location.
It is, it is.
Yes.
Not as busy now as it was, but yes, it's very
Okay.
busy.
And they have something in the middle, like they had a regalia that, or like this, have something, right?
Yes.
We saw it.
Yes, we did see it.
Yeah, yeah. Think, where is it? I don't see it here.
It's been stolen. This is
I don't.
New York.
I don't think
No,
so.
no,
right?
it's not. You see, a little bit of planning will make this so much better.
No.
We also need to find
Cash.
the day that it's.
It's keep on going. So yeah. So we came far as this location, and we would be going back to the Francis Tavern and check the place. What do you think? What do you think?
I think we should walk over to the Battery to see where the city started.
Yes, after we cross the Francis Tavern,
Yes.
like we'll be. Okay. So we are actually walking through the old part of the New York.
Right, we're walking in the
Should I?
water.
We're walking on the water, like yeah. If it
We're
be, if it be,
drowning.
yeah, we're drowning. It
We're
would be
drowning
16th,
right now.
16th century, right?
Yes. Oh, look here. There's the fire.
Okay. Stone Street Historical District. This
Right.
historical district made up of cluster of building on
Kunti's Alley and
Kunti's Alley
Stone,
and
South
Stone.
William and Pearl Streets.
It is one of the downtown's last oasis of early 19th century New York.
That's right.
Stone Street stores and lofts were built for dry goods merchants and importers. Oh, okay. Shortly after the Great Fire of 1835, picturesque
Turn of the century additions.
turn of the century additions, including Dutch style facade, which
Right.
stepped gables
They
on the
came
side.
later.
Okay. Okay.
But this is the way it looked before the fire.
So this is the old city when they.
Right.
Yes.
And here, where we're walking here, right along the water.
Okay. So this is at the
Yeah.
Great Fire.
This is Hanover Square there, right there.
Okay.
So we're really
Oh, we are in the old part
right,
of the city, right?
That's Hanover Square.
Oh, we are not in the water.
Yeah, no, we are actually. We actually are in the water because it was somewhere. The water is here somewhere.
All right. Okay. So this was the fire. This was the old look of the historical photograph of Stone Street.
That's right.
Okay.
When they still had stones.
Yes. So do you think that this is the same stone they have right now, or it is in replaced?
No, probably been replaced.
Okay.
Some of it maybe not because they don't replace things they don't have to here.
Okay. So currently it looks almost like this.
Right.
So okay, that's what.
Yes.
So if we walk down this, so this is
Water Street.
This is Water
No,
Street.
it's Pearl. I'm sorry, it is Pearl.
Oh, this is Pearl Street.
This is
Okay.
Pearl, yes.
Okay. So,
So
this
we
was
were-
this was the last part of the city. Actually.
Right. This is the waterfront.
Okay. But they didn't have any very good sewage system here, right?
There was no sewer system.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody just dumped everything out the windows.
Okay. Okay. So
And you had to be careful where you walked.
yes.
Especially into the water.
Mhm.
They started to dump the garbage into the water, of course, and eventually it built up.
Okay. So another thing we noticed, like there are so many holes in the. This is granite, right?
Granite, yes.
Granite, right? Okay. So in granite, we see a lot of holes. So
Yes,
for
because
centuries,
the
yes,
signs would have changed over the years,
yes.
and nobody filled in the holes. They just put up a new sign.
Okay.
These buildings would have been built, like you see, 1835, actually to 1840.
Yes.
Most of these buildings.
So why, why did they put granite instead of stone, instead of bricks?
So they could have big openings that people could see through.
Okay.
Glass
so,
windows on the first floor.
so these were almost like a shopping
These were,
center, right?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
This is like Fifth Avenue.
This was like Fifth Avenue or like okay,
Right.
shopping
Well,
district,
they
right?
they were dry goods stores, just like you would find like a Macy's, right?
Uh-huh.
But smaller.
Okay. Yeah.
And here you can see
Yes.
why they did this.
Yes.
The granite is to support the bricks upstairs.
Yes. The lintel was also made by the granite, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So when do you think like these buildings have been made?
I think 1838 to 1840.
Okay. Okay.
This one, in fact, you can see